I believe that Polkadot is extremely underrated. Now, of course, it's not a small project by any means, but I believe that it's actually very special. Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor guarantee, but $150, for DOT, its native token during this bull run, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, why is that? It's because if we take a look at the current state of, many blockchains out there, what is a problem that they often, have, right? It's the fact that many of them can't freely send data and value to each other, meaning that for the most part, a lot of them lack interoperability, which of course is a very kaka scenario. That's terrible in my opinion. Now, of course, this is where something like Polkadot steps in because, through Polkadot, what do they focus on? They're focused on connecting blockchains together. They're focused on interoperability. Let me use a real-life example for this, right? If let's say I'm using T-Mobile and my friend is using like AT&T, but then let's say because we're using a different carrier, I can't, text message my friend or I can't even like call. Wouldn't that be a big issue? Imagine if I could only call people like using my own carrier, right? And then I can't call, other carriers. Again, that would be a complete nightmare. The whole system would be kind of just out of whack. Now, of course, that's not a real problem, but imagine if that was. Now, when it comes to the world of blockchain technology, just because it's relatively still new, this problem pretty much still exists for a lot of, blockchains out there, which of course is why, Polkadot, it kind of quite essentially saves the day, Thanos style, if you know what I mean, like the BAM, the Infinity Stones. But yeah, even besides that point, you take a look at, what is like a very, famous example of this issue. You take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. They can't freely send data and value to each other. Of course, that's complete caca. And again, Polkadot quite essentially saves the day when it comes to this. Now, some people out there, they like to say that, why do you like Polkadot so much, man? You keep saying it's great, all this type of stuff, but then they say, oh yeah, we don't believe it's great. Now, here's the way I take a look at it, right? For me, if I believe in a project, I commit to it. So why would I think it's bad at all? It's like, for instance, let's say, someone goes inside like a Rolex store and then they go inside that store and they're like, oh, dude, why is the watch so expensive? Justify the price. What is this all about? This sucks, all this type of stuff. You know what they say? They say, oh yeah, kick rocks. Imagine going to a grocery store and then questioning why, like, I don't know, instant noodles cost a certain amount. It's like going up to the cash register and being like, yeah, justify why this can of beans costs like $1. You know what I mean? People are going to be like, whoa, dude, what the? They'll again be like, hey, kick rocks, quite essentially, right? So it's the way I take a look at Polkadot. I understand the quality. I understand why it's amazing. So I'm not going to question it. When I believe in something, I really do believe in it. It's like, for instance, when I buy baked beans, it's because I want to buy, right? I already know what I want to get. I want to get beans. And you got to think about how when it comes to, the world of blockchains, people keep thinking that, oh yeah, 2021 was the peak, all this type of stuff. But again, I believe that there's going to be more that are going to pop up in the future. And I think as of right now, many blockchains out there, we're going to see many of them, I think, hypothetically reach even greater heights because, as we all know, there's going to be more institutional adoption when it comes to the world of blockchain technology. There's going to be, more enterprise investors. Also, on top of that, more retail people, because you take a look at how even back in 2021, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now there's over 600 million, according to Crypto.com research. So I think naturally, right, as time goes on, there's going to be more and more as well. And you got to think about how, actually around 600 million crypto owners is kind of not really that much in the grand scheme of things. It's actually a lot compared to 2021. But if you take a look at the grand scale of things, there's still a lot of room there because you take a look at how there's billions upon billions of people in this world. Not even 50% allegedly even own cryptocurrencies. If you really think about that, not even 25%. So when it comes to, this whole space, I still think there's better days ahead. And I think something like Polkadot, it's not going to disappear because it's not gone when the hype is gone, right? Because imagine, again, like I mentioned earlier on the video, as more and more blockchains pop up, it's only fair to assume that something like Polkadot is going to go along with the ride. And if you think about it, Polkadot, it's quite essentially the leader when it comes to, the interoperability space overall. Yeah, sure, there's, for instance, something like Axelar, right? But in my opinion, when it comes to Polkadot, it's pretty much the biggest and most established player in its market, or should I say niche. And I think that right there is going to play to its advantage because a lot of people out there seem to think that Polkadot is some dinosaur. But again, if you think about it, if there really isn't that many good options, but then there's one option that's like, very well established, has a good brand image, so to speak, I think the higher probability of it getting chosen is, of course, natural. So when it comes to Polkadot, again, yes, it's not a small project, but I think better days are ahead. And we also have to take this into consideration. when it comes to DOT reaching the price of $150, some people like to say that, oh, wow, it's insane, all this type of stuff. But you got to consider how, at that point, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $225 billion. Again, that's over $300 billion less than Ethereum's all-time high market cap. Now, am I saying that Polkadot is going to defeat Ethereum? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, hey, going to the price of $150, again, market cap at that point would be around $300 billion less, or should I say over $300 billion less than Ethereum's all-time high market cap, showcases how when it comes to, DOT, it doesn't necessarily need to beat like a Ethereum or something like that in order to do amazing. Again, reaching way less than that is hypothetically already very fantastic. Especially again, right? Like I mentioned earlier on the video, there's more people owning cryptocurrencies than ever before in history. So that's amazing. Also on top of that, people often ignore, just how massive the Bitcoin ETF could be when it comes to Bitcoin, especially during this bull run, because I think as of right now, because of that, a lot more people, I feel like the sentiment has become a lot more positive when it comes to Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, because before they were like, yeah, what's this? All this type of nonsense. But then I think as of right now, the sentiment has changed greatly. So I think this is really going to benefit during this bull run. I think when it comes to, all those amazing factors, I think this altcoin season could be so fantastic. And also on top of that, Bitcoin reaching the price of 150,000, let's say, during this bull run, that wouldn't really be surprising because, again, when you take all of those amazing factors, I really don't see why not. Now, also on top of that, if Bitcoin were to do that, could you imagine what happens to altcoins then, much like DOT? Read the sky's the limit. But it's really just a waiting game at this point. And it's not like we really have to wait even that much longer. But even despite that, I'm still going to wait. And here's the thing. Some people like to say, okay, how long do we have to wait? Now, it's actually maybe not even that long, again, like I mentioned before, because typically around a year from right now, as a worst case scenario, altcoins have been known to peak. Now, why is it a year from right now? Am I making up this date? No, because historically speaking, this has been the case. We're 6 months removed from the last Bitcoin halving event, and we're basically 12 months away from October of next year. Now, of course, that's 18 months total, right? October of next year compared to April of this year when, the Bitcoin halving event happened. And that's, again, historically speaking, when altcoins are supposed to peak as a worst case scenario, around a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event, basically 18 months. So again, it's not like we have to wait like 2 years or 3 years or something crazy like that. Now, granted, it could happen sooner. Let's say like early 2025, could we see, altcoins truly reaching their peak? I guess so. You never really know. But even despite that, I'm prepared either way because I'm dollar cost averaging. So anytime an income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. So let's say the price dips for whatever reason, I'll still be able to accumulate because I never went all in. But then let's say the price pumps, it's fine by me because I was holding the entire time. So it's not like I got caught off guard or something like that, right? I didn't miss out on the pump, if that makes sense. Which is why, again, I'm just staying patient, dollar cost averaging, because I think, let's say 6 months from right now, a year from right now, things could look so different. Really, all I got to do is stay patient. I've been through from like 2021 all the way up until right now. It just kind of seems like peanuts, really. I mean, FTX crashed, right? FUD about USDT, FUD about Grayscale in a sense, even back then. Also on top of that, you take a look at, of course, Sam Bankman-Fried, Terra Luna crash, all that type of stuff, Celsius. If I've been through like all that, basically, could you imagine like just waiting, let's say worst case a year from right now? It doesn't seem so bad. That's why, again, I'm staying patient. I believe in Polkadot. And again, $150 for DOT during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think Polkadot is one of the best projects out there, and I really can't wait. And by the way, if you want to know my portfolio, you want to know my exit strategy, you also want to know which altcoins I'm buying. Also on top of that, if you want me to review your portfolio, and also maybe if you want advice when it comes to content creation, how to make videos, how to start a channel, how to build a channel, how to be consistent, feel free to go ahead and check out my Discord in the link below in the description, of course. I think you all would really love it. I think it's very amazing. So I'll catch you all there. And also on top of that, make sure to subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.